Many thanks for choosing us in our very first story. President Akufo-Addo and his government under intense pressure to make a crucial policy intervention that will address the current economic crisis in the country, which has seen a significant rise in the cost of living amidst a rapid depreciation of the cedi against major trading currencies. The presidency has ruled out any possibility of returning to the IMF against recommendations by top economists. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta will this week brief Parliament on strategies developed at an expanded cabinet retreat over the weekend. Here's a news desk report.
I'm using all our money to buy fuel.
I was hoping that I could get building materials at cheaper prices, but the prices keep soaring.
That's the crunch being felt by many Ghanaians. Fuel prices are at an all-time high beyond 10 cedis per litre after starting the year at 6 cedis 30 pesos. The city is in a free fall and general cost of living is on the ascendancy. President Akufo-Addo has admitted that the economic conditions are harsh.
I know these are difficult times for all of us. Our nation and indeed every country on the face of the planet is going through challenges brought forth largely by the pandemic of COVID-19. Ghana is not the only country faced with extraordinary increases in global freight rates, strong inflationary pressures, dramatically rising fuel prices, unprecedented volatility of stock markets, and tighter global financing conditions. These are global phenomena.
These conditions call for tough measures. Already, pay cuts for government officials and suspension of flagship programs have been proposed.
The executive and writers must have a pay cut. Maybe 25% will do.
Why don't you suspend this let's say, social intervention?
Experts predict that failure to act swiftly will force a return to the IMF.
Yeah. Then once your international reserve depletes to a certain level, you have no choice than to go to the IMF in an ambulance. This is what is keeping us right now.
Government has, however, ruled this out. In response to the rising criticisms, key members of government held a crucial meeting over the weekend to strategize on how to fix the economy. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is expected to communicate the outcome of the meeting to Parliament this week.
Finance Minister has 12 questions. We know the challenging times we find ourselves, but we believe that he would make it and explain government financial policies.
Well, while we wait for the Finance Minister, now former Minister for Justice, Dr. Obed Asamoah, says the government should consider going to IMF for a bailout. Speaking on the economy in an exclusive interview with JoyNews, Dr. Obed Asamoah said the economic fundamentals has actually exposed the government.
Ken Ofori-Atta says the country is broke. He's managing it. How come it is broke? How come it is broke? And allow Bawumia to say all kinds of things. Don't you see how quiet Bawumia is? He's been used too much. And I think he begins to see the possibility that he might be a presidential candidate. And a lot of the things he's saying now will be used against him. You know, so he's slowing down, you know.
In other words, you're saying he's shying away from the economic discourse?
He's obviously, I mean, in any case, because he's playing into his own, he's shooting himself in the foot. I mean, you talk about economic fundamentals and whatnot, and they will show you in the exchange rate, the exchange rate movement will show you up.
Fundamentals will expose you.
Haven't they exposed him? We are now, well, the cedi is now at about 8 cedis to the dollar.
What would you like to see as an elderly statesman in the country when it comes to dealing with our cedi problems and arresting the skyrocketing prices of fuel products?
We have to spend less.
Spend less?
Yes. You know, for example, I mean, this e-levy, the indications are that they want to raise the e-levy to use it as a collateral.
As a bond.
As a bond. You know, why that? Why do you want to go into more debt? The debt will be paid by you and I in the next few years. So I think they have to spend less, and they should sit down and be more realistic about what is possible and what is not.
Others have said that the solution is going to the Bretton Woods institutions, specifically the IMF. What do you make of that?
Actually, I wish we didn't have to go to the IMF.
But do we have to?
Where we are now, I think we have to.
We have to go to the...
Oh, yes. They will lower our sights in terms of expenditure and say, look, you can only manage so much. We can give you so much money. You have to manage within the limits of what we are going to give you. And I think there's some kind of, that kind of discipline is necessary. It's unfortunate.
So while we wait for the finance minister to go to Parliament this week to announce the measures government intends to take to save the economy, let's take you live to the Monetary Policy Committee meeting underway at the Bank of Ghana for a sneak peek into what's happening there. But before we go there, let's bring you up to speed on this high cost of fertilizer and other farm inputs, which is likely to lead to a food shortage and hunger in the country. That's according to some peasant farmers in the northeast region who are calling for immediate intervention of the government. The increments have been blamed on supply chain disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis in Ukraine. According to the farmers, the situation is taking a biting toll on crop production, as some farmers have been compelled to scale back production, while others are quitting farming altogether to become imports dealers. Correspondent Elias Tanko spoke to some peasant farmers and leader in the northeast region, one of the country's food basket regions.
Alhaji Karim Mahmoud is a well-known and experienced farmer based in the capital town of the Northeast region. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Who Is Free Farms and has actively been farming all varieties of food crops including cereal and vegetables for over 40 years now. But due to the recent sharp increases in the prices of input and the general high operational cost, Alhaji Karim has gradually switched into a full-time agrochemical dealer. He says several farmers in the region are ready to call it quits if there's no help from the state agencies to reduce the prices of farm input, especially fertilizer.
Everything has increased. Last year, for instance, by this time, we were getting fertilizer around 80 cedi, 85 cedi. But this year, currently, fertilizer, MPK, if you don't have 500 Ghana cedis in your hand, you will not get fertilizer. Even some of the fertilizers, you can't even get. The Yara fertilizer, you will not get it. And then the chemical too. Last year like this, the distant glyphosate, 19 cedis, 20 cedis, but as at now, 1 liter is 50 cedis, 45 cedis for 1 liter. Which means that it has increased double. For this case, how can we able to farm?
He also said the hikes in the price of fuel as well as tractor services has affected agricultural production costs. According to him, the situation was forcing some farmers to scale back production, with others looking at the prospect of quitting production altogether.
This year, how much is 1 liter now? Some are saying 11 cedis for a liter. Some are saying 10 cedis for a liter. And if you don't prepare your land, you don't go to farm. And you can't use your hand to prepare the land unless you get a tractor to go to the farm. And there's no fuel. There's increment about the fuel. Last year, they were doing 1 acre 70 cedi. But this year, it's going to be 100 plus. 1.5 per acre. It has increased double. As at now, what are we going to do? Where are we going?
Alhaji Karim appealed to the government to intervene by any means necessary to prevent the country from plunging into an imminent food crisis this year.
If they didn't come out to look about those things, it will be difficult for the farmers this year to be able to go to farm. If the farmer didn't go to farm, you, the officer, minister, MP, president, where can you get food to enjoy? So there will be much hunger in Ghana here next year if they didn't do something about that. Though we are appealing, just wake up and work hard to solve this problem in the name of Allah.
Reporting for Joy News, Ilyasu Tanko Nalirugu.
Well, the National Buffer Stock Company, among its core mandate, is to filling the gap in the event of any food shortage. As government races against time to address the fears of the farmers, what's the situation at the Buffer Stock Company? Joining me live for a conversation is Chief Executive Officer of the National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan. I'm grateful for your time, sir. Do you appreciate the fears of the farmers? And should we, as Ghanaians, also not be afraid? Hello, Mr. Hanan. Okay, we'll try and bring Abdul Hanan back, who is CEO of the Buffer Stock, to tell us more about whether we have sufficient food to avert food crisis as the farmers are purporting. But as Ghana targets self-sufficiency in rice production, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is facilitating the provision of funds to support rice processors across the country through financial arrangements with the Agric Development Bank. The ministry says rice value chain actors can now access loans at a 50% subsidized rate from selected banks across the country. In a speech read on behalf of the Minister of Food and Agriculture, the handing over of agric equipment to improve rice value chain in the central region at Ochireko, they indicated that government, through its partners, were working aggressively to achieve self-sufficiency in rice production by 2024. Richard Kwejonyako has more.
The equipment, including tractors and accessories, harvesters, among others, were handed over by the Korean International Cooperation Agency, KOICA, to complement government efforts to improve the rice value chain. Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Food and Agric at the handing over ceremony, the Chief Director of the Ministry, Roberta Nkobia, noted that at the inception of the Planting for Food and Jobs campaign in 2017, a total of 1,698 of certified rice seeds, complemented by fertilizers, were distributed to farmers across the country. This, he says, increased to 6,544 metric tons in 2019, 10,950 metric tons in 2020, and 14,935 in 2021. The Greek ministry says this signals government commitment to improving rice yields towards the attainment of self-sufficiency in rice production in 2024. Mr. Nkobia says government agenda of achieving rice sufficiency in the country is on course.
In alignment with the target of self-sufficiency in rice production, MOFA has facilitated the provision of funds to support rice processors across the country through a financial arrangement with the Agricultural Development Bank. Again, under the Ghana COVID-19 Alleviation and Revitalization Enterprises Support Program, what we call KES or Batampa, which began in 2021, rice value chain actors can access loans at a 50% subsidy rate from selected banks. We have to work together to consolidate the gains and build on successes to further increase domestic production of quality rice for food security, import substitution, and savings, critically, of our scarce foreign exchange.
KOICA says the project to improve rice value chain in the central region bears a great deal of significance in terms of food security in Ghana. They say Ghana has so far not been able to meet the domestic demand, making it highly reliant on rice imports. And to help Ghana to be self-sufficient, the government of the Republic of Korea places a high priority in advancing the agricultural sector in Ghana in collaboration with the Ghanaian government. Senior Deputy Country Director for KOICA, Sengmin O, says the project to improve rice value chain in the central region with a grant budget of $8 million from KOICA is undoubtedly a tangible example of close cooperation between Korea and Ghana in the agricultural sector.
I strongly believe that Ochireko irrigation scheme is the hub of rice revolution. Through our project, many farmers experienced the tremendous improvement of rice production in the Ochreco irrigation scheme from 2.5 ton below to the more than 5 tons per hectare. I think that many of you already experienced that kind of experience. And we believe that the provision of this equipment today will extensively promote this rice revolution again.
Statistics show that rice is the sixth most imported product in Ghana, recording more than $1 billion worth of import from 2017 to 2020. Country Director of the United Nations Office for Project Services, Ifeoma Charles Mowumba, reiterated how the equipment will help boost rice production in the country.
All of this is really to build the capacity of the farmers in this region to produce rice. Earlier in our meeting this morning, we were assured that all of this will contribute to boosting the quantity of rice grown here towards achieving food, security for Ghana, especially when it comes to an important staple meal like rice. Everywhere, I'm Nigerian, and so there's always that competition about Nigerian jollof rice and Ghana jollof rice. So it's rice, and we need to be sure that every family has adequate access to rice.
Koika charged all beneficiaries of the project to make the best of the opportunity to improve rice production and help the country achieve the goal of self-sufficiency of rice in 2024. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonya-Akon, Cape Coast.
Let's stick with food and food security, and we're going back to the CEO of the National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan. I'm grateful for your time, sir. Do you appreciate the fears of the farmers, and should we equally be afraid?
Thank you very much, Aisha. I appreciate the call of the farmers, and it is very important to always sound the alarm bell of rising cost of input and ultimately food security. For us, at where we sit, we have envisaged this since COVID sets in the year, early part of the year 2020, and we have been making adequate preparation towards the future. So currently, as we speak, we are not surprised, but it is our responsibility to make sure that Ghana is food secured, and that is what we are doing currently.
Please share with me what the situation is right now at the buffer stock. Do we have enough to avert a food crisis?
Yes, my dear, we have enough. We have various food items in our warehouses across the country, which is under strict, prudent management. We are managing the stocks that we have available, and I can assure you that this will take us to the end of the year.
So, I mean, you want to talk about what kind of food we have available, because the farmers have indicated that those foods that will be worse affected are those that you are able to store, like maize, beans, and those ones. Are those
so
ones?
Currently, what we are holding, we are holding a significant number of maize and rice, and of course is out of the same stock that we are also distributing to the free senior high school across the country. So mainly these are the food items we are keeping. We have the white beans, we have millet, soya bean, and then groundnut.
And that should take us up to when? The end of the year?
The end of the year, whilst we are making preparation to restock depleted warehouses across the country.
And you want to share the quantity?
It's a national security concern. What I can say is that we have adequate stocks, and Aisha, this is our weapon, and it's also our strength. So I don't mind sharing it with you, but it is not prudent to disclose the stocks we have currently. What I can assure you and every Ghanaian is that we have enough stock and the prudent management to take us to the end of the year before we start receiving new stocks into our warehouses.
So I'm actually asking this because of the hike in prices we're seeing. I mean, if we have enough in stock, we shouldn't be having price hikes, right? Or when exactly are we going to be feeling your cushioning?
I understand very well. But Aisha, we are not in normal times, and things are not the way it used to be. That is a reality. We are fortunate with what we are experiencing here. There are price hikes, and there's also availability. In some places, people have the money, but the food items are not available. So I cannot say that the stocks that we have today is better than the ones we have previously. So of course you would see, that's why I'm saying that we are doing strategic release of these stocks into the system. We cannot just release it like that, and we also have to give some priorities. And our priority is also the free senior high school program, where we are feeding over 1.5 million school-going children. So I can assure you that things will stabilize very soon, and we have enough stocks that has been projected to take us to the end of the year until we start getting new harvests.
So the assurance is that we have enough to cushion us up till the end of the year, correct?
Correct, Aisha.
I'm grateful for your time, Abdul Hanan. He's the CEO of the National Buffer Stock, and he says there's enough to avert any food crisis. To Ashaiman, the manager for the Northern Electricity Department, NEDCO, John Mumuni Tahiri, has bemoaned the difficulties staff of the utility company go through in line of duty, and this includes attacks by customers. He disclosed this to JoyNews during a visit to the area by regional and national executives of the Public Utility Regulatory Commission as part of moves to ensure responsiveness and efficiency in service delivery. There's more in the following report.
The Acting Executive Secretary of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Dr. Ishmael Aka, together with a delegation from the national and regional offices of the Commission, paid a working visit to the Ashaiman office of the Northern Electricity Department of the Volta River Authority. The visit is to, amongst other things, help improve the interests of both the consumer and utility companies. Dr. Ishmael Aka used the opportunity to call on consumers to connect to the national grid legally and pay for the services to keep the utility companies running.
Recently, PURC introduced a regulation, LI 2413. Now, what it does is that it helps to balance the interests of both the consumer and the utilities. So to the consumer, we want them to have satisfaction, want them to get the best quality service, but at the same time it places some obligations on the consumer. One of them is that you have to at least connect to the service legally, and when you connect, you have to pay for the service you are using, because electricity is not free.
He also noted that the new LI of the PURC provides an opportunity for utility companies to report consumers to the Commission.
Another thing about this LI is that it also provides opportunities for utilities to also report consumers. So in the past, consumers can just report utilities, oh, they disconnected me illegally, I didn't get light, I had outage, and all those things. We didn't have any opportunity for the utilities to also report. This LI provides that platform. So it is an LI that is balancing, more like providing some form of a balance between consumer interests and the utility interests.
Ashaiman area manager for NEDCO, John Mumuni Tahiri, laments the difficulties staff of NEDCO go through in line of service, and this includes attacks by consumers in some areas.
We encounter several issues with consumers every now and then. Consumers use power and they don't want to pay. They resort to illegal connections, and those we even have to move to them to go and collect the money. You go and they have threats. They threaten you to move away, otherwise they will harm you. And that has been a concern as far as our operations are concerned. And I want to entreat Ashaiman users, consumers of electricity, that when we use electricity, let's pay for the electricity. We should not emulate bad examples from elsewhere.
However, noted that illegal connections is one of the key challenges bedeviling the smooth running of the company, and appealed to consumers to desist from engaging in illegal connections for safety reasons.
Power theft is simply stealing. Stealing in our culture is wrong. Stealing by religion is wrong. In our homes, we are taught that we shouldn't steal. And so I want to encourage people who use electricity that even when you are not stealing and you see someone stealing, encourage the person to stop, because it will affect you anyway. If you also do these illegal connections, sometimes you can cause fire or electrocutions, which will cause loss of lives and properties.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Ashaiman.
The convener of the Fix the Country movement, Oliver Bakavomawo, has described as inhumane the practice in which the police keep people in cells without food for days. He was speaking at the Ashaiman police station after the police rejected a donation of food and other items the Fix the Country movement made to the district command Sunday. JoyNews' Samuel Kojabris has more.
It was a normal Sunday afternoon at the Ashaiman police station, but after an hour, the members of the Fix the Country movement started massing up at the station. Soon, some cars came in and started offloading some food items, toiletries and other stuff meant to be a donation from the embattled convener of the pressure group, Oliver Bakavomawo, who until last Thursday was in custody at the Ashaiman police cells. The police, sensing that it might not be possible for the items to be received, warned the group members that the items cannot be unpacked to the police premises. The district police commander therefore asked them to get the items off the station. He said they have taken this decision because the group did not follow the laid-down procedures in donating to the police station. Oliver Bakavomawo arrived soon after. His presence drew more people to the venue. After being briefed on what the police had decided to do, he expressed shock at the development.
So then we go home. We have already started soliciting different charities or orphanages that people online think is the best place to send the things. We'll send them there to feed people who are hungry. And if the nature of politics in this country is that even hungry people have to be denied food to make a statement, that's the reality of the country we are living. We can't change it. We can't do anything. For all my 35 days in there, not once did the police come and offer me food. That this is the food that the state has provided them to give to inmates. I had to wait on family and friends who would come and give me food. So that's the experience of a lot of people who are there. There are some who have gone a year, 2 years, and have never received any family coming to see them. In fact, a lot of them, their family don't know they are in there, because the police often deny them the right to call anybody to inform them that they are there. So that's the experience I went through. And I know that there are people in there who are starving. When I was arrested and I was thrown in there, I met people who for 5 days had not eaten. And when I talked about it and complained about it, I was told by the police that the people in there are used to it. So it's inhuman as far as I'm concerned for people to go this number of days without food.
The police, at the time we were leaving the premises, were yet to officially release a statement on the development. For Joy News, Samuel Kojabris, Ashaiman.
The police has since released that statement, except we'll be sharing with you in a subsequent bulletin. But let's talk about Ghana. To play this game, one must maintain all-round alertness, else you pay the price by taking a hit at the back. Antwitchery is a communal game usually played by young people to while away time. For our Ghana series focusing on indigenous Ghanaian games, my colleague Justice Baidu went to the Kwabenya MA5 school here in Accra to find children who still play Antwitchery.
Pupils of the Kwabenya Atomic MA5 school playing the game of Antwitchery. They form a circle and one of them hovers behind them with a stone in hand. The rest in a circle, all of them down on their knees, clapping.
The players must be 8 or more, from ages 5 and above. A cloth is needed for the game. The children are made to sit in a circular fashion, and one of them goes around the circle singing Antwitchery, Antwitchery. They all respond, yeah, yeah, yeah. Antwitchery, Antwitchery, yeah, yeah, yeah. Obi babewo, yeah, yeah, yeah. The song is repeated as many times as one goes around the circle.
Antwitchery is an Akan folklore game. The game's name, Yamfa Antwitchi, literally means it has not been put behind you.
The rule of the game is that for those seated, nobody should look back. The moderator then goes behind one person and puts a cloth behind them. The first person should have a way of knowing when the cloth is put behind him or her so that he can be the new moderator. If the person is that absent-minded, the moderator then lightly hits the back and they all laugh. The game continues until they decide to stop.
My name is Joyce Quay.
Joyce Quay, the head teacher here, is one of the people trying to keep children here focused on Ghanaian games.
With the onset of technology, a lot of our children have lost track of our traditional games like Ampe, Owari, Ludu, Antwitchery, and the rest. But once in a while, we organize such things so that our children here would not lose our culture entirely. So today, for instance, we did Ampe, Antwitchery, drafts, and Owari.
Like many other games indigenous to Ghana, Antwitchery is almost lost. And if nothing happens soon, it would only be a matter of time that no one would hear or know about this game again. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
And back in the studio, my name is Ashaiman. Have you tried Antwitchery? Maybe you want to try. Let's take a break on JoyNews Desk. When we return, we'll bring you the very latest from the world of business.
Time now for business with me, Beverly Broom. The Northern Regional Minister, Alhaji Shaibu Alhassan Sahibu, has called on players in the insurance industry to work hard to change the narrative where vehicle owners see insurance as an opportunity to avoid police arrest instead of security from risk. Here's more from the 7th Annual Conference and Exhibition of the Insurance Brokers Association of Ghana held in Tamale.
The Insurance Brokers Association of Ghana is holding its 7th conference 2022 after it was unable to hold 2 earlier events due to COVID-19. The event brings together industry captains to deliberate on how to transform the sector. Northern Regional Coordinating Director, who represented the minister, called for professionalism and the business to ensure healthy competition.
The above notwithstanding, life will continue to become easier for all of us
such as underpricing premiums, illegal payments of commissions to unlicensed individuals, etc. I think what is important in cutting to jail is cutting to jail with all businesses, but making underwriting losses at the end of the day. Insurance players, that is, insurance and brokers, must learn to play according to the rules of the profession. Choose conscience over unhealthy competition. This is the sure way to promote integrity and prevent the use of increased regulatory requirements to resurrect good behavior.
The guests of honor, Sanarna Abdullah Yakubu, expressed hope that the meeting would help address negative perceptions about insurance.
Economic and technological evolution of your professional environment make it mandatory to remain vigilant in order to cope with related challenges.
MultiChoice Ghana says it is committed to churning out quality education and entertainment content for children in the country. The company believes using visuals plays an important role in teaching as well as learning, hence its decision. Corporate Affairs Manager for MultiChoice Ghana, Ni Amadagadu, was speaking to Joy Business after donating a GoTV decoder to SOS Children's Village in Tema. Our correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in the following report.
The donation by MultiChoice Ghana forms part of the company's Ghana Month celebration. The company decided to identify 20 institutions across the country, including SOS Children's Village in Tema, where a GoTV decoder is to be installed. The installation, which comes with a year free subscription, is expected to add to sources of learning and entertainment for their children. Nyama Dagadu is the Corporate Affairs Manager for MultiChoice Ghana.
As part of the Ghana Month celebration, what we decided to do was to identify 20 institutions across the country. We are doing the first of the 20 here at the SOS Children's home here in Tema. But as we speak, our colleagues across the country are also undertaking a similar exercise where we're installing in each of these orphanages a GoTV decoder with 1 year subscription. And the reasoning behind it is we believe that everybody deserves quality education, quality entertainment as well. And the fact that, unfortunately, some of these children that we find in some of these orphanages might not have access to some of this kind of entertainment.
For Nyama Dagadu, documentaries, among other illustrations on GoTV, will aid in the development of the children.
I always use this classic example. There's no way to teach a student how a volcano erupts than to see a volcano erupting. So, for example, if you watch a channel like National Geographic, you see some of the documentaries that they produce that takes people into the field to experience some of these things firsthand. And that's why we believe that a DSTV or a GoTV decoder is a great teaching tool for the teacher and a great learning tool for the people as well, because it opens them to a whole new world of aspiration. And as human beings, we always aspire for greater things. And we believe that having a DSTV or GoTV decoder in your home or in your educational institution is something that is not just education, it's education.
Meanwhile, Alternative Care Coordinator for SOS Children's Villages in Tema, Eric Diodu, is grateful for the gesture.
We thank GoTV for this kind gesture this morning, and as the Managing Director mentioned rightly, it's all about quality entertainment for children, and I believe that this will go a long way to help us entertain our children so that through entertainment they learn. So thank you very much to GoTV for this wonderful donation.
MultiChoice, as part of the Ghana Month celebration, is selling its GoTV decoder for 69 cedis from an initial price of 89 cedis.
We have more in business on myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broom.
Let's go to the NPP headquarters, where aggrieved members from the ongoing polling executive elections are pitching camp to seek resolution to their grievances, but say they've been prevented from entering premises of the party headquarters. Papani Ashaiman has been monitoring events for us and joins us live with more. Papani, why exactly are the aggrieved NPP members being prevented from entering the party headquarters? So we'll try and get Papani Ashaiman, who is at the NPP headquarters. We're told that there are some aggrieved members of the party who are pitching camp that they want their issues resolved because they've been prevented. They claim they've been prevented from taking part of the polling executives elections of the NPP. Papani Ashaiman is back. Papani, so why are these aggrieved NPP members being prevented from entering the premises of the party headquarters?
So first off, they have been told that the people in question they have asked for are currently not at work. They have not been to the headquarters. So they've not given access to the place. Again, given their number again, there are quite a number of people here, near 40, if I'm not mistaken, that are standing outside here. But currently, it is that the leadership of these two groups, those from Bantima constituency and those from Obuasi West constituency, their leadership have been called into the office. The media is not being allowed to follow them. So the exact people they are interacting with in them, we do not know. But the entire entourage have not been allowed access into the edifice. They are still outside picketing picketing the national headquarters.
Hello, Papani. So Papani is our man there. He's at the NPP party headquarters. You can see on the screens that there are members who seem to be aggrieved, who are protesting for the doors of the headquarters to be opened so they can enter and speak with the executives. Papani Ashaiman, if you are back, let me understand what exactly the problems are. I mean, what the issues are with these party folks.
Okay, so Aisha, they have raised a number of issues. The biggest of them is that some of them were disqualified from their various elections. And a number of them are here and they've been talking to me. What they tell me is that for some of them, they only woke up the day of the elections to find out that their names have been deleted from the album, say the compilated names that were eligible to one, vote for others and also to stand in the election. So you could be a candidate, but you yourself, you couldn't even vote for yourself. Some others have also raised some other concerns that the names were manufactured, the names were put in there, who did not belong to the NPP. Sometimes even alleged that some of them were identifiable members of the NDC, but all these people got asked to in the elections that they were standing for, leading to some of them being disqualified, some of them being losing to other candidates that they thought that were unfair. So they've been listening to quite a number of issues, but just now, what I've been told is that leadership have been invited into the edifice of the MPP to for sure see some other people. The media was not allowed. The leadership is also here to come out for us to inquire what exactly they've been discussing, who they've also been meeting. What we understand is that they were here to see John Boydu and some other people, but the indication they are getting is that John Boydu is not around and may not be able to see him personally, but he's assigned a gentleman in the name Collins to see to that the concerns of the people have been duly registered and that they work on it.
I understand there are rules, there are mechanisms put in place by the party to address some of these issues. Have you found out from these people whether they've gone through the right channels for their issues to be addressed?
Particularly for single members through the final rank. So right from their constituencies, even one of the constituency chairman, secretaries, I beg your pardon, is here, who says that what they've decided to petition right from the constituency level to the national, to the regional level, but not favorable answers have been heard from any one of them. So they've decided to come to the national headquarters where they are hoping there'll be some finality to some of the challenges that they have raised with their respective elections.
So as it stands now, they've not been able to meet any party executive, and they've also not said a word about the issues they are raising?
So there's no confirmation who exactly they are meeting inside the building, but a few minutes ago, some select leadership of two constituencies, some of these members have been asked to come inside here. We are hoping that they are meeting a delegate or a representative of some of the executives here. They've already been told that the executives are not around and may not be able to see them personally. So we assigned some representatives who will take the petition that they have brought along with them as well.
Papania Shale is our man at the NPP headquarters. We'll definitely bring you more on this in our subsequent bulletins. Let's take a break. When we return, Muftau Nabila will bring us everything sports this morning. It's time for sports. Muftau Nabila is here with the very latest from the world of sports. I know this morning you're furious because of a press conference.
I'm not the only one. I think the entire sporting media in the country is furious because of the attitude of the Ghana Football Association in relation to some of the activities of the Black Stars, notably the Black Stars squad they are supposed to release for the World Cup qualifier against Nigeria. This hasn't been done yet. They had announced that there was going to be an address by the coaches at 8:30 a.m. It's almost 11 a.m. Yeah. That is yet to be done. Questions are being raised by the media because the GFA had said that they were going to do it via their app. And unfortunately, many have said that if you want us to access content of the Black Stars via the app, do not forget the Black Stars is an entity that has got public interest, and the state funds the activities of the Black Stars. So why do you want to commercialize the activities of the Black Stars? And if you take a look at their app, about 10,000 people have been able to download it. And if you're in a country that has about 30 million population, with everyone having one or two things to do with the Black Stars, and you want to deny them access to the content of the Black Stars, it's not fair. And that's why many of us have been extremely angry and disappointed of the decisions of the Ghana Football Association. But we are privy to some of the players who have been invited. We know the likes.
But what's the excuse? I mean, have you been given any explanation why it hasn't come up?
The GFA have not offered any explanation. And it has always been the disrespect they've got for the media. So I'm not sure they're willing to offer any explanation.
So what's the squad? I mean, what are the names that you are picking up?
So by what we know Richard Ofori is making a return into the team. We know there's going to be a place for Manaf. Lawrence Atizigi has been dropped per our understanding. There's also going to be a place for Jojo Wallacott. And in defense, Dennis Corsa has been invited per our information. We know that Antoine Semenyo of Bristol City, we understand, also got a call-up. Then there's also Christopher Nchiaje of Bochum. He plays his football in Germany. Then we also understand that Yao Yeboah and Joseph Edu, they are those who are making a return to the team. They are joining the likes of the Thomas Partey's, the Daniel Amates and co for the tie. Those are some of the new names that we know. He's expected to name a 27-man squad for the game. Otodo has spoken. He says that they are committed to giving their all to ensuring that Ghana qualifies for the World Cup. Then Chris Hilton has also spoken. He says that we are Ghana and we are going to go all out and make sure that we qualify for the World Cup. Hopefully they put out the Black Star squad as soon as possible.
Well, this is something we'll be looking out. And that press conference must come on.
Well, would they do it? I'm not sure they will.
They'll
do the mandatory one.
Well, we'll be waiting for a response from the GFA because, like Nabila said, that would be disrespectful to the media, inviting them and not saying anything.
No, they actually wanted to do it via their app, which is online.
Okay, but it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened.
We'll still be monitoring.
We are monitoring.
Thank you for bringing us.
Thanks for having me.
Nabila. That'll be it for News Desk. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll get updates of all the developing stories there. See you again at 12.